think the answer to the question, will I ever have proper lighting again, is the same answer to the question, will I ever stop looking at myself in the viewfinder? And that answer is no. Hey guys, it is the middle of November, which means two things. One, I'm failing at NaNoWriMo. And two, it is time for my October reviews. In the month of October, I read some seriously amazing books, and I read them very slowly. I just needed to cherish these books and bask in the amazingness and listen to my soul, and my soul was telling me to read them very slowly. So I did not read that many books this month, but all of the ones that I did read were right up my alley. They were perfect for me. The first book that I read in October will totally mess up my white balance, so I apologize, but that is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. And I have a full video up about this book, about the plot and how much I loved it, and a little bit of critical analysis, but mostly it was just a lot of fangirling, and you can click the book to go to that. It is a YA contemporary / mystery about a aspiring set designer in Hollywood. It is about the film industry, and the main character is a lesbian, and I'm so into that. But if you delve a little deeper, it's also about privilege, and the rich and the poor, and like the dismantlement of the manic pixie dream girl trope, and it's just perfect for me, and I think it would be perfect for anyone who really likes YA contemporary and knows the tropes, because this kind of shoots down all of them, and it's real good. And then I read Teen Titans Volume 3, Death of the Family. I think this is by Scott Lobel. I really wasn't gonna read this installment after the disaster that was Volume 2, but I needed some creepy Halloween reads that wouldn't give me nightmares, and it happened to be at my public library when I was there, and overall I am thankful for all of these coincidences. The way that this volume incorporated the bigger Death of the Family arc was the exact opposite of the way that the previous volume incorporated the Culling arc, and that made my reading experience so much smoother, and I was able to appreciate the brilliance that was this plot line. I just can't get over that we were given all of the information we needed to appreciate this plot, and it was all in the right order. We even got some background of a secondary character that I really liked, but this was just everything that I never knew I needed. So the Joker has kidnapped the Bat family, and the Teen Titans think they can go and rescue Red Robin. So we get Barbara, Starfire, and Roy coming to try to help the Teen Titans accomplish something. But it's hilarious how utterly useless these tiny little babies are without Tim around to help them. Meanwhile, we get some issues of Batman where he's not being useless, but he is being a horrible father figure. There were some awesome family dynamics, and it was just so good. I love the Bat family, I love the Teen Titans, so to have this kind of coming together, and with bonus Roy Harper backstory, I was like, yes. Now, I am still pissed about Skitter, and the end kind of hurt my inner feminist, but I still gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then starting into my Halloween reads, I read Out of Time by Paula Martinac. Adult lesbian fiction with magical realism elements, with a lot of historical elements going on, and I adored this book. It was, once again, perfect for me. The main character is an academic, and she's also a writer of novels and creative nonfiction, and she collects lesbian novels, and she goes into antique stores looking for them, and then one day she finds a scrapbook. And in the scrapbook are a bunch of pictures of this girl gang, essentially, these female friends, and she finds out that they were a group of feminists and lesbians in the 1920s. She starts to get haunted by these women, both literally haunted by figures that she thinks are ghosts, and metaphorically, these girls have just seeped into her life and is messing with her personal life and her professional life. It's definitely not a creepy book, but there is ghosts involved. There's magical realism elements. Now, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It was absolutely perfect for me in every aspect. However, it is a bit slow, and I don't think a lot of people would like this book unless it was up your alley. It is slow, the main character can be annoying, the romance is a little hit or miss. Yes, you can totally get a lot out of this even if you're not into that kind of thing. There's no like lesbian erotica in this or anything. I mean, there's some sex scenes, but it's pretty mild. If you're into feminism, there's a lot of that in here, and it's just real good. And then I read Mecha, which I believe is by Brandon Montclair. I requested this from Netgalley because it is a graphic novel about giant robots fighting aliens. I don't like those kind of stories or anything. I have no connection to this kind of plot whatsoever. The main characters are a male and female co-pilot of this giant robot, and they're the only pilots left standing after a giant battle. The similarities are there, man, but this wasn't even in the realm of Pacific Rim. There were some elements that did differ from Pacific Rim that were really well done. For example, the mecha pilots are not protecting their own home anymore. They are going to other planets to protect them from these aliens. The inhabitants of these other worlds hate the war and hate the mecha pilots. Robot battles are so large that they wipe out cities without any warning. And we're shown the destruction and the aftermath more than we're actually shown the battles. It's such a tragic, bloody, gory story for such a pastel palette that this graphic novel has. I do kind of like that twist, that differing between the art style and the story. What I didn't like about the art style was that it was so sketchy. Like, there were lines everywhere. I don't like that for action-packed books. There's so much going on, but with all of the lines, it's very hard to tell what is actually happening. Overall, it wasn't anything too amazing, but it is worth a read if you are interested in politics in the aftermath of war. And I gave this 3 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I read, I was saving until the week before Halloween, and then I finished it on Halloween, and it was just so great to read a creepy read that didn't give me intense nightmares, and that would be Something Wicked This Way Comes by Ray Bradbury. Halloween shows up a week early in Jim and Will's hometown. First, a lightning rod salesman shows up and warns the boys of an impending storm, and he points at the dark-haired boy and tells him that his house will receive the most destruction. And then they find a flyer advertising Cougar and Dark's Pandemonium Shadow Show. Then comes the music, disturbing the quiet of 3 a.m. for the contrasting friends and the light-haired boy's father. 3 separately follow the train, and their fates get entwined with the lives of the carnies on the train. Bradbury offers us a beautifully dark tale about disfigured carnies, mysterious ice coffins, demonic children, and a seductive merry-go-round that promises to rewind time. Okay, it's really not as scary as it sounds, seeing as it's essentially a middle-grade novel. But the writing is so beautifully and creepily repetitive that it stirs up your inner curiosities, your inner fears of both young and old age. It's Bradbury. He terrifies us with life instead of monsters, using pretty prose instead of jump scares. Some people think that we are safest among family. Others think that they are safest among words, and Bradbury takes all of those things and shows us how dangerous yet essential they are. But I mean, take all of that away and you still have an entertaining story about friendship. Or if you followed along with my Goodreads updates, you could consider this a story about a blossoming relationship between 2 teenage boys, because that was hella gay. Just so much gay. Basically, October was a great month reading-wise. Not like quantity, but of quality and of gayness. Hopefully the next time I see you won't be my November reviews. It probably will be. Whatever. And that is all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye! under